And we're back. Hi, I'm Delia Coates, and this is my building my first Node app. Uh, my first Node app stream. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. So last time we were trying to figure out what I think. So last time where we got stuck is figuring out how to get the state to render onto the screen. Um, and we were trying to figure out how to manipulate an object and what sort of data object I was creating. So last time, and I think I had said that I was supposed to go to a Q&A, which I did. It was helpful-ish. We definitely found out that my object was the object that I was trying to access was different than I thought it was. It was it was like an object and it had 0, 0. Like it had object and then it had 0 and then it had 0. And then from there was the thing I was trying to get, which was kind of ridiculous, frankly. I think it had to do with the fact that I was passing in an object and then storing it in an array and weirdness. I didn't entirely understand why the object that I was trying to access was like this, even though I just created it. It's a problem. So I was kind of like, okay, let's redo the commit. Let's discard the commit and then see what happens. Okay, so let me show you my screen, and then we can start doing the code. All right. So let me see what I have not saved my client.js. Okay, so right now I'm in this place where it's indenting weird, and it's kind of weird, and it's like, oh my god, what is going on here? Okay. So, I have an array of objects that I'm passing in, which should work, hopefully. I mean, theoretically. So I'm just kind of like, oh my god, what am I doing? Yeah, ESLint is fighting with this thing, and it's driving me nuts a little bit, but whatever. Okay. So here, okay, so we've got meals.html and then store.meals.map, and then there. And then we're trying to append this. So let's try to run the code and see what happens. Name undefined, ingredients undefined. So right now we are not accessing what we need to. All right. So, and I feel like this should be easier, but it isn't. In part because I don't entirely know what I'm doing. Okay, so we've got, let's make sure that our breakpoint. Let's look at what we're watching, and then store, and then meals. Okay, and so it's store meals 0. And so the thing I don't entirely understand is, okay, so this is another one, and I need to like do that and then refresh. Okay, so what I probably need to do if we're gonna do this is go store.meals.0.map. See if that actually works. ESLint is not like that. Okay, let's find out if that we can do that. Okay. So let's step over. Oh, look at that. It's displaying. Now, I don't entirely know why it needs that to display, but we're going to say it displays, and that's okay. All right. So, displays multiple meals to user. Now, I mean, the other thing I can think of is maybe because it passes data on to the, because it passes data on, how do you put it? Because it passes data on from here over to your mockDB, and then your mockDB passes it back, is maybe why it has a 0. That's what I can think of. And that's, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, really, when it comes to that. Let's push this. All right. So, I'm so glad that it displays things. Of course, it doesn't, yeah. It displays them kind of poorly. I wonder if we can put some spaces after these things. Okay, I include spaces right between these things. Cabbage. Oh no, I include spaces for macaroni. All of that. Okay, so let's go here. Let's add some spaces. Let's add some spaces. Let's add some spaces. And eventually we hopefully won't have to do that. Create spaces out ingredients list items. List items. Okay, and we're going to do that. And of course we use jQuery, which, you know, kind of disappointed, but that's how it is. All right, so what's next? Let's look at our thing. Have store state. We did that. And we need to space out the form. And the other thing that we need to do to add an item. Take in input from user. And display it in the list of meals. And we need to space out the form. And we should probably space out the display. Okay. So let's check the Twitters, make sure that there's nothing interesting going on. Okay, cool. Nothing interesting. Let's check the chat. I don't see anything interesting. So we do need to space out the form with some padding. So let's take a look at our thing and see what we can make happen here. let's inspect, minimize our chat, and let's see if we can do form. No. Aha, there we go. Let's say we want to do margin 3EM. No, that doesn't really do much. 1EM. Okay. Okay, I think what we need to do is we need to create some margin top for the add a meal here. Also, your current meals is okay. Once we get started on this road, we're like, oh my god, everything's terrible. Okay, so now let's see here. Okay, so let's add. There we go. Margin top 4EM. Let's do that. Let's go to our main. Let's see if we have section. Oh yeah, let's turn off all our breakpoints and continue. Okay, that looks a lot better. Your current meals needs to go down a little bit. Okay. So let's see if we have an ID for this div. We don't. Okay. So let's go with margin top. And then we'll go with 4EM again. I think it needs to be 2EM. Okay, great. Okay. So now this H3. Okay, margin auto. Okay, so what I need to do on this div, I need to create an ID for that div. Okay, div. Let's go with ID display meals. And let's go here and go display meals. And then from here, display flex. And then from here, margin top 2EM. All right, let's do it. Oh my god. Okay. That's better. Okay. Flex direction column. I mean, it's not perfect, but it should do. Okay. So let's go with flex direction column. And then we do want to flex direction column. That looks better. Okay. I was not how to do flex basis. Okay. So on current meals, what we need to do is we need to do. Do we have anything on current meals yet? Yes, we do. Okay. Display flex direction column, and then let's do hashtag current meals, and then we should do P. Okay, and then what we should do is we should do margin bottom, and let's say 1 EM. See how that looks. I mean, I don't like it, but it looks better than it did before. But really, it should be margin all around. Okay, so let's go with a margin and then margin oh, that's better. Is it? I mean, I kind of want them bunched up. I like the centering. Hmm. Why don't we just say margin? Let's just do margin 1, and let's see how that works. mean, it's a little more spaced out, but it actually looks decent. I don't like the. I think it looks too spaced out. Okay. Let's do margin top. And margin left. And margin right. I don't like that either. Okay, let's do margin all around and then we'll just deal with it later. Because I think probably what you need to do is going to be like make these two a particular tag or a particular like label and then have that and have them closer together and then eventually do that. Okay, so let's try to space out this form like we were talking about. Why don't we do field set everything under field set? Let's see. Oh, that looks terrible. Oh my god. Okay, we don't want to do that. Let's add our margins to the label. Okay. Still bad. Okay, we need to do a margin top and bottom, or a margin something. Okay, so let's do margin bottom. And then do 1 EM, and then from there, I don't know if I really like how this looks. Okay, let's zoom out so that we can see the thing. Okay. Why don't we put the label on the input? Or the margin on the input? Technically, it's label input. I mean, I'm glad to have the spacing, but I don't like the spacing. So let's restore this thing real quick. And then let's do that. Oh, that's much better. I mean, it's not like pretty by any means, but it's like much, much better. Period. Okay, yeah, I like it. Let's do it. Okay, let's commit. Okay, so we spaced out the form and we spaced out the mules display. And let's commit this, and voila. Now, next up in terms of styling is gonna have to be taking these titles. Because right now, if you look at the black, you can't really tell what it is. I mean, you can, but you can't. You know what I mean? So we need to like either make them bigger, or we need to do something. So what I'm kind of thinking is either maybe we make them H1. Let's kind of see how that looks. I'm actually okay with H1. Let's look at how H2 is, though. Yeah, I think they need to be H1. As much as I don't want to use H1, I think they need to be H1. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. Either that or I need to create a background on them. Which, I mean, you know, if you have to create a background, you have to create a background, but, like, okay, where's the other one? There's another one. Aha, here's the other one. I mean, and maybe ultimately that's what you want to do, is create like a tiny, color background. Either that or I could like outline them in white or, whatever, I don't know, something. Okay, so let's save. Let's commit. Background, not background, what am I doing? Section titles. Okay, so we're going to say grows section titles. Oh, I know what we should tweet. We should say this. A piece of advice I received on commit messages. Always make them into a sentence. And a descriptive. Not only that, make them an actionable, make them a present tense action, a sentence using a descriptive present tense action verb. Not only that, but make them, they're a lot easier to read that way. To read that way. Okay. There we go. Okay, I like it. Okay, let's do this. See new tweet. It's probably my tweet. And I should probably hashtag things, but nah. Alright. Let's check the chat. I don't think anyone's chatting with me immediately. I think it's time to take a brief break so I can get some more water. So I will be back in 5 minutes. Thank you for watching. And I'm back. Welcome. Okay. If you haven't caught it, I am Delia Codes, and this is me doing my node capstone. What you are seeing here is my current set of files and everything else. So, what we need to do is we need to capture the input of this form, which I'm going to refresh. Wait. I changed this to H1. Why is this not doing it? Add a meal here, H1. Your current meals, H1. Okay, now I'm really confused. Like, isn't this supposed to be an H1? Okay, I really don't understand why this is like so much bigger. I mean, it's not that big a deal, so I think we should just leave it. But it's like, Okay. So let's go through and do some cleanup here. Let's check and make sure that our build is looking the way it should. Okay, that looks good. Let's make sure that this is doing what it ought to. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. Have we pushed? We have not. So let's do that right now. Let's push. And from there, that way it can look better and not look absolutely horrid. And okay, let's see. This is all objects except for this thing and this thing. So why do we do this? Say close other tabs. And then from here, build is running. Great. Okay, this is me trying to do JavaScript. Me looking at promises. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are trying not to get lost in the array of things happening. We did space out the form. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's spaced out the form. We do need to take in input from the user. So we need to do that with jQuery. Let's see, new tweets, nothing interesting. And yes, this is what I'm looking for. We don't need DOM insertion. We need to get something from button selector. No. No, we don't need that. Okay, we need a dot submit. Okay, great. Let's do it. And then if need be, we'll rip it out later. All right, let's make it happen. This still bugs me, but I don't know how to fix that. I really don't. I'm like, yeah. Okay, so we need to call render. And then from here, okay. Dot submit. And then we're gonna say, we're gonna put in a function, and then we're gonna do that. We're gonna put that so ESLint is happy, and then we're gonna do event dot prevent default, and then from there, unexpected. Okay. Well, you know, I don't know how to not do you. Event dot prevent default. Okay, great. That looks like what it should. And then what we need to do is we need to get input, and this is where we probably need to figure out which of these is an input and which of these is a thing. All right, meal name. So let's do meal dash name dot val. And then let's do that. And we need to assign that a value, but let's write the other one first. And then we'll figure out how we're going to do that. Okay, let's see here. ID, ingredient. Thankfully, I think I can spell ingredient. Okay, so let's see here. What we need to do is we need to pass these into add my meal as an object. Um, so I guess we just have to use the doc method. So let's say const new meal equals an object. Okay, great. New meal dot name is equal to that. New meal okay, where am I going? I am going over here. Okay, so insert first ingredient here. Okay, so what we probably need to do is we need to make sure that I keep expecting this to be in a separate thing, in a separate, like, actually, let's do them side by side. I don't know why I'm thinking that I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so let's do index, and then let's zoom that over. Okay, perfect. Okay, so new meal dot ingredients equals an array. Dot push, and then from here do that, and that should work. And as long as we we will do ingredient for that one, and then what we probably want to do is map the other ones as soon as you get like an add more ingredients button. Okay, so let's save it and see. Well, okay. The other thing that we haven't done. So we've put it in new meal. So what we've defined is this new meal thing. And what we need to do next is we need to take new meal and we need to put it into a render function as something. So what I think we probably need to do is adding meal, and then we need to call adding meal inside of that. Is what I would say. Though I'm not sure if that's actually what we should be doing. I'm just gonna say that's probably the simplest thing to do. And then from there, we call render. And I feel like it's kind of a monstrosity to do it this way. I feel like maybe we should break it up. But I'm not completely sure. Okay, let's try it. Okay. So let's insert my first meal here. Potatoes. Potatoes. Okay, it does not do anything. It does not do what we need it to do. And in fact, it re-renders the entire function. Let's look at our store. Okay, I'm not sure where this is going to be. So let's kind of try to do this. FFF, TTT. Okay. Okay. This isn't working for some reason. So what's happening? My code is not working at all for some reason. Which is really kind of strange, to be quite honest. I mean, it should be. Um, I mean, my submit should be working the way I ought to have. It's probably something simple. It would be my best guess. But I'm not sure what that simple thing is, frankly. Do, do, do. In It's an ID submit. ID submit. Unless I've gotten something wrong about the jQuery. I really don't know. I don't know what's going on with this. I feel like somebody should watch this stream and like tell me, like watch and take a drink how many times I say I don't know. I mean, maybe it's programmer life. I guess so. I don't know. Let's check Twitter's. Nothing interesting as far as I can tell. And let's check the chat. I don't see anything in the chat. I have no clue. I mean, I'm not completely stuck because I feel like I could like rewrite it. I mean, I don't know. I kind of also feel like I should be writing it in, you know, whatever. Okay. Maybe it's the fact that I'm using an ES6, you know, thing with jQuery. Who knows? Maybe jQuery doesn't like ES6. Well, I have my mentor meeting in about 10 minutes. I should probably take some sort of break in between now and then. So I'm going to stop streaming for now, but it was good talking to you. And you might catch me streaming at the end of my, during my mentor meeting. Take care.